Tonight on News Prime, Shettima to attend the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Nigeria-Egypt strengthen diplomatic ties cooperation. And the results Northern Group rejects derivation formula. The first hidden toll US-Mexico border to be sealed. And assault backers almost set to meet beneficial Champions League clash. Hello and welcome to News Prime. Tonight on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. On DSTV channel 365 start times, channel 276. I'm free to Nekam start. We'll begin by informing that Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to represent Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum scheduled for Davos, Switzerland. Stanley Kuja, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications Office of the Vice President, in a statement said Shettima would join world leaders, business executives and representatives of development partners at the meeting to discuss the state of the world economy with view to improving its conditions. He said that while in Davos, the Vice President will hold bilateral meetings with other leaders, as well as participate in workshops and forums slated for the annual gathering. Our fellow Ghana's spread condolence to the government and the people of Niger State following Saturday's patrol tankers explosion at Diko Junction in Gwale local government area. Professor Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction described the incident in a statement as tragic, noting that it claimed many lives and caused extensive property damage. Meanwhile, the toll from the petrol tank explosion at Diko Junction Niger State has risen to 86, while 8 people were injured and taken to hospital. The Director of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Barara, said that as of Saturday, the death toll was reported at 70, with 50 injured. However, more cases have since been recovered and all have been given mass burial in Diko, Niger State. Nigeria and Egypt have reached an agreement to enhance the diplomatic relationship and establish a cooperative partnership aimed at shared challenging fostering development. The announcement was made by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a statement issued in Abuja by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugas, Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communication Strategy. The agreement was the outcome of the third round of political consultations held in Cairo between Toga and its Egyptian counterpart, Abdulturi. Another federal government has denied the claim that it compelled prominent Nigerians to testify in Paris for Nigeria in an ongoing arbitration proceeding involving the $6 billion Mabiladro electric power project. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Banonoga, issued the denial in a statement, described the report as fake news. Multiple reports had claimed the government, the former President Olusegun Buhari and the former Minister of Power, Babatunde Fashola, to Paris to testify for Nigeria. Now, Nigerian Association 2024 Economic Front was on this factory for the private sector, calling for economic reforms to drive the private sector in the country. The board planned all data, metrics, and 6 confirmed that the sector folded the negative bonds of the nation's current firms facing the very harsh conditions, including high inflation and increased borrowing costs and currency devaluation. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency has stopped an attempt by a 26-year-old nursing student, Esther, who was attempting to smuggle some receipts of into ear. A statement by the Assistant Director of Media and Advocacy, February, Esther, a 12th-level student at Noida International University, Ultra, was apprehended at Road Park, Claus, 7 hours before a scheduled Qatar Airways flight to the here on 17 January 2025. Now, security matters still, the police in Ondo State says it has apprehended 3 syndicates, 62-year-old woman and Sabira Izura and a couple Isiaka Lukman and Abzul Lukman allegedly specialize in child stealing and trafficking. Wilfred Afolabi said Commissioner of Police said that the suspects were arrested after a case of missing child was reported at the division in Akure. Afolabi said 4 babies between 1 week and 2 months old and 10 children between 2 and 7 years were recovered. Now, over 200 widows of fallen police officers in Imo State have received support from the Police Officers' Wife Association, POWA. The initiative, which included the provisions of business equipment and food items, aims to help the beneficiaries establish small-scale businesses to sustain their families. Our correspondent Marjibe has the rest of the details.
The president of the association and wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Ebetokun, led the empowerment program in Owerri, Imo State capital. She highlighted the challenges faced by families of officers who lost their life in active service, calling for greater support for their welfare.
The initiative aims to provide not just financial support, but also skills and resources that will enable these remarkable women to build sustainable livelihoods and secure a brighter future for themselves and their families.
The chairperson of POWA in Imo State, Jimaima Aboki, reaffirmed the association's commitment to providing sustainable empowerment for widows.
Back on this important empowerment initiative, let us take a moment and appreciate the unwavering courage and selfless sacrifice embraced by the police officer's wife, particularly the wife of deceased and injured police officers.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed their appreciation for the empowerment program.
I am so happy. I am so very much excited because of today's program, the empowerment, it makes me to feel happy. I am so happy.
I'm a teller. Since all this, I've been working under somebody, but now I thank God I will start my own.
I am a kunu seller. I used to go out and grind every day 1,000, 1,500, at times 2,000. But now with this my machine, it will help me to save some money to support my husband. Shall wipe away my tears.
The POWA Employment Program have provided much-needed relief to widows of fallen officers, offering them tools to rebuild their lives and ensure a better future for their families. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
Now, in the related developments, the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria has called for urgent improvement in healthcare infrastructure and equitable distribution of human resources across the country to address critical health issues affecting women. The association made this call during the 5th National Executive Council meeting at a scientific conference held over 3 days in Jos Plateau State. In a communique issued at the end of the conference, they highlighted the increasing burden of breast and cervical cancer among women in Nigeria, advocating for timely diagnosis, equitable access to treatment, and expanded vaccination programs. Our National Assembly Joint Committee on Agriculture, Production and Services has reiterated its support for the National Agricultural Development Fund as part of its broader strategy to enhance the food security in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary and the CEO, Mohammed Ibrahim, said in a statement that the reaffirmation came during the budget defense, where lawmakers pledged to strengthen the fund's effort in hosting the nation's agricultural sector. He noted that the legislators commended the fund for its significant strides in 2024, particularly in facilitating sustainable agricultural development across the country. Around the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Polytechnic has announced plans to embark on a 3-day warning strike over what is described as a threat to the career progression of its members. This was contained in a letter sent to the Ministry of Labour alongside the National Board for Technical Education and Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. The letter was signed by the National Secretary of the Union, Nora Gaya. Well, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has restrained the Federal Road Safety Corps from arresting vehicles with faded number plates Justice Kintoyo Aluko, on the other hand, also restricted the Federal Road Safety Corps from imposing any fine or punishment on any drivers for driving with a faded vehicle plate number. The court made the orders while delivering judgment in the suit filed by legal practitioner Chinwike against the Corps. The Nigeria Immigration Service has issued an alert on the emergency of a new sect with Arched Life Mission International, which it says is neither linked to Islam nor Christianity, but preaches restoration of African tradition. This is contained in the circular dated 14 January 2025 and signed by the Principal Staff Officer to the Comptroller General, Dr. Adetunde. The service urged all the territories, zones, training institutions, commands, and border formations to take note that the sect has their headquarters in Kano while its leader, One Yokan, lives in Jos. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, when News Prime returns. Hidden tunnel on U.S.-Mexico border to be sealed. We shall bring you those details, that of business, foreign and spot stories as well. Do stay with us. Many thanks everyone for staying with us on the News Prime. And on to business. The League of Northern Democrats has rejected the derivation formula proposed in ongoing tax reform discussions, warning that it could deepen regional inequalities if not properly defined. The group commended the Nigeria Governors Forum for endorsing a revised value-added tax sharing formula of 50% based on equality and 30% on derivation, and now with the 20% on the population as well. The Federation Accounts revenue has been shared to the federal government, state and the local government councils. In a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations Office of the Accountant General of the Federation said that the revenue was shared at the January Federation Accounts Allocation Committee meeting here in Abuja. The communique indicated that gross revenue of 2.310 trillion naira was available in December 2024, adding that total deduction for costs of collection was 84.080 billion naira, while total transfers, interventions and refunds were 801.135 billion naira. Nigeria targets an export market of up to $79 billion through the expansion of our export capacity with African Continental Free Trade Area Framework. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Odowale, said these at a high-level roundtable on the country's implementation of Africa Free Trade Protocols here in Abuja, featuring the Secretariat, Wamkile Odowale, who praised Nigeria's participation in the development of Africa Free Trade and the leadership in the implementation of the trade agreement. And on the foreign scene tonight, Donald Trump landed in Washington ahead of his inauguration, with the billionaire Republican set to attend a series of events and celebrations before reclaiming the presidency. Trump, who earlier arrived with his wife Melania and other family members at the Dulles International Airport, headed to a private event, including a fireworks show at his golf club in Virginia outside the Washington. And in the meantime, a hidden cross-border tunnel used to smuggle migrants and the contraband between the U.S. and Mexico will be sealed. Mexican border officials have said that running between the Ciudad in Mexico and El Paso in Texas, which sit next to each other on the other side of the border, and the 200 meters tunnel was concealed in the storm sewer systems and all that discovered last week. And despite official estimate, it took at least a year to build. Now, investigators are now looking into whether local officials knew of its construction. That's the news to really follow. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the ceasefire scheduled to commence on Sunday by 8:30 am will not take effect unless Hamas provides a list of hostages to be released, with the militant group said that the delay was due to what it called technical reasons. The Netanyahu office said in a statement the Prime Minister instructed his country's defense leadership that the scheduled ceasefire would not begin until Israel has received a list of released hostages, as Hamas has committed to providing. A Russian strike has killed 4 people in Ukraine capital Kiev. An official says that the strikes in what the country's foreign minister called for heinous attack with ballistic missiles left at least 3 more wounded. While a separate overnight strike on the southern city wounded 10, Kyiv is frequently targeted by Russian drones and missiles, but deaths are rare in the capital, which is heavily protected by air defense systems and better able to fend off attack than elsewhere in the country. And I'm moving to sport tonight. Barcelona playmaker Dani Olmo will miss the club's Champions League clash at Benfica on Tuesday, after suffering a calf strain. The midfielder is currently eligible to play for Barcelona as Spain's National Sport Council granted a precautionary measure after La Liga refused to renew his temporary playing license at the end of 2024. Lionel Messi got on the score sheet as Inter Miami opened on their pre-season campaign with a penalty shootout victory over Mexico's Club America in Las Vegas. And now Argentina superstar Messi headed home. Luis Suarez crossed from the close range after 34 minutes to equalize for the Major League Soccer side after America had taken the lead through Henry Martin moments earlier. Now to wrap up the news prime, let's take a look at our major stories. We told you that Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to represent Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum scheduled for Davos, Switzerland. And don't also forget that Nigeria and Egypt have reached an agreement to enhance their diplomatic relationship and establish a comprehensive partnership aimed at addressing the shared challenges and fostering development. And the business we informed you earlier that the League of Northern Democrats has rejected the derivation formula proposed in the ongoing tax reform discussions, warning that it could deepen regional inequalities. And the first seeing a hidden cross-border tunnel used to smuggle migrants and contraband between the U.S. and Mexico will be sealed, the Mexican border officials have said. And finally, in sport, we told you Barcelona playmaker Dani will miss the club's Champions League clash at the Benfica on Tuesday after suffering a calf strain. And as a package on News Prime coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Start Times channel 276, and free to air Nikam Sat. You can follow us on our social media platform at Global TV NG. On behalf of the entire production team, we say thank you for joining us on News Prime. My name is Adika Michael. Do have a wonderful evening and the rest of the day.